Time for headlines on Rockin' Retirement, and this is an apocalyptic headline, Janine, that we've been seeing for years, but I've been noticing it sounds like more and more often. Dire predictions from the media about what's going to happen to the economy. We could go a lot of different directions with this, but specifically I've been seeing a lot of concerns about Social Security, and they all say something to the effect of it's going broke, they're going to have to cut your benefits. We know even politically there's been some sparring over who's going to do what to Social Security and protect it and all that kind of stuff. What's the real truth when we see headlines like this? Is it really just there to stoke us and make us nervous? How should the average investor, saver, retirement planning human being interpret all this?
Well, it is a little bit challenging because all of the media messaging has been pretty negative about Social Security. And in fact, for a while over the last few years, if you actually read your statements on the right, the actual physical statement on the right side was first or second paragraph, it does say that the Social Security fund or trust fund or whatever is going to be not insolvent, but is going to be less than what it should be by about 2033, 2034. So that puts people in a panic because what are we talking? We're talking 10 years. And we still have 10 more years, roughly 8 years maybe, of the back end of the baby boomer generation retiring. And there's 10,000 people retiring every day, taking Social Security benefits. So that's a problem. But we've had more than enough notice for Congress to do something about this. So there is no trust fund anymore. It's the general fund. So the question is, well, how is Congress going to apportion money so they can handle this? Because the baby boomers are getting blamed for taking more of the social welfare entitlements. Well, by the way, we did pay into that for all these years. But what's really interesting is they're considering moving back the retirement age from 67 to 68. Now, if you were paying attention to the news not too long ago, France was in an uproar because they were pushing back their retirement.
Yeah, major riots and some pretty incredible video out of France.
And holy smokes, I mean, their retirements are at younger ages than we do.
That was because they were talking about moving it to what, 63, maybe something like that.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So right now, full retirement age is 66 and some months. If you're the baby boomer generation, which is 1946 to 1964, and then it's 67 for everybody after that. What they're talking about is maybe for Gen Z, millennials potentially, because they're not going to do it to the baby boomers, to push that retirement age back to 68. Here's another way they're dealing with that, which probably nobody's really noticed. For a long, long time, Social Security was basically calculating Social Security benefits based on the Social Security base wage or wage base. And so for a long time, it was $40,000. Well, what happened, 30 years ago, 40 years, 50 years ago, you had 15 workers for every one retiree. Well, now it's 2 workers for one retiree. So
that's another planet, right? I mean, we're talking a whole another world at that point.
Yeah. So what they've done over the last 5 years is jump that wage base significantly. And last year, in 2022, the wage base for taxation for Social Security and Medicare was $147,000. This year, it's $160,200. So they're capturing more of the folks who are earning higher wages and salaries, to go towards Social Security. And yes, most of that does go to Social Security, but Medicare is an even bigger issue, so they're not even addressing that. So yes, Congress has a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Sounds like, though, despite negative headlines that you might see, the solvency of Social Security, whether it's going to be around, your message, it sounds like, to at least the baby boomer population out there is not a whole lot's going to change for them, not as much to be concerned about as you might think there is to be when you see the news.
Yeah, so they are projecting that it's possible that Congress is going to reduce the benefit by 25%, which would be significant for the folks that the average Social Security payout is $1,200 a month. So not a lot. And if you reduce that by 25% and then you have inflation on top of that, that's a killer for a lot of people. So they really do need to address it. They need to address how it's run and then, payouts, et cetera. But it's not going away. It's not going to necessarily collapse. There are a lot of other issues. And holy moly, if we just stop sending money to everybody else in the world and work on our problems, it would probably be just fine.
So to put a bow on this headline conversation, if somebody's wanting to talk about Social Security, it's a part of the planning process that you take clients through, right? But it's not really a central piece of most people's puzzles.
Well, it is kind of a central piece because people do expect it to be there. So what they're not looking at is, how should I take Social Security? Should I take it early? Should I take it at full retirement age? Should I wait till 70? Because there's a big push to wait to 70. There's a reason they're doing that. And that's some things that we talk about, because everybody's situation is unique, and, couples and divorcees and widows and widowers, those situations are very unique. And so whether you should take it early or late or in the middle, it's going to depend on what it is you're trying to accomplish and what else is going on in your retirement plan.